is the second homicide you've been mixed up with in as many weeks.
I didn't see nothing.
Now what he knows is changing the power of the street.
Picture this. 1994. The hood film genre is exploding. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Juice, all dominating the box office with flashy cars, booming soundtracks, and glorified street life. Then comes Fresh. No gold chains, no glamorous drug lords, just a 12-year-old chess player who's about to teach every criminal in Brooklyn the most dangerous lesson of their lives. This is the story of the movie that flipped the entire genre upside down and why Hollywood never saw it coming. Fresh hit theaters in the fall of '94, right in the middle of what critics called the golden era of hood films. But director Boaz Yakin had zero interest in making another Boys in the Hood. While every other director was cranking up the volume, Yakin turned it all the way down. No flashy cars, no booming hip-hop soundtrack drowning out the dialogue, no glamorized street life whatsoever. Instead, Fresh gave us something nobody had seen before, the drug game through the eyes of a child. Not a teenager trying to be a man, but an actual 12-year-old boy whose survival depended on being smarter than every adult around him. While other films focused on rising crime lords and their inevitable falls, Fresh centered on psychological survival. The question wasn't whether our protagonist would rise to power, it was whether he'd live long enough to save his sister and escape. This wasn't just a different approach, it was revolutionary. Yakin deliberately stripped away every single hood film trope audiences expected, creating something that looked familiar on the surface but operated on completely different rules underneath. Boaz Yakin wasn't just any screenwriter turned director. After years of Hollywood thrillers like The Rookie, he moved to Paris attempting to write the great American novel. But when producer Lawrence Bender approached him about making a low-budget indie film, Yakin had one non-negotiable condition: total creative control. Coming from a theater background, his parents were actually mimes. Yakin understood the power of what wasn't said. He'd studied under acting teacher Stella Adler, whose philosophy was revolutionary. The great actors always know how to leave something out, never give 100%. What you hold back creates mystery. This philosophy became Fresh's secret weapon. Yakin consciously rejects the loud, explosive style dominating films about black characters of the 90s, instead embracing quiet intensity, wanting audiences to feel the tension radiating from Fresh's world, not hear it screamed at them. Every close-up, every moment of silence was calculated to pull viewers deeper into Fresh's strategic mind. The violence? Quick and unexpected, no building suspense, no dramatic climaxes, just sudden, brutal reality that mirrors the unpredictable nature of life on the streets. Shawn Nelson was only 13 years old when filming began, but critics were calling his performance one of the year's best. Roger Ebert said it was extraordinary. Peter Travers noted the entire film lived on Nelson's remarkable face, showing what gets lost when a child beats criminals at their own game. But here's what makes Nelson's performance truly special. He had to completely unlearn his theater training. On stage, emotion is projected, amplified, made obvious. For Fresh, Nelson had to do the opposite. He had to show internal complexity through restraint, conveying strategic thinking through subtle observation and reaction. The film's initial cut was actually disastrous because it didn't have enough footage of Nelson. Yakin's personally restored scenes of Fresh observing, listening, reacting, because the audience needed to understand his internal chess game. Nelson's task was nearly impossible: make viewers aware of Fresh's state of mind almost wordlessly. And he nailed it. Fresh became a character who spoke volumes through silence, whose intelligence radiated through careful observation rather than just clever dialogue. Samuel L. Jackson appears as Fresh's alcoholic speed chess master father, and he was only on set for 1 week. Nelson filmed for 2 months, but Jackson's brief presence anchored the entire film's emotional and strategic core. Playing Sam, the estranged father who teaches Fresh chess at Washington Square Park, Jackson delivered what critics called impact per minute. Their father-son dynamic wasn't warm or nurturing, it was tense, competitive, filled with tough love advice that would prove crucial to Fresh's survival. Those chess games weren't just bonding moments, they were tactical training sessions, teaching Fresh to think several moves ahead, to sacrifice pieces for long-term advantage, and to understand that sometimes winning requires appearing to lose first. If you love discovering gems like this, hit that like button. Prime Time Throwback drops weekly deep dives into the crime classics that shape cinematic history. Fresh features one of the most emotionally devastating scenes in 90s cinema, and it was completely fake. When Fresh hangs and shoots his dog, Roscoe, audiences were horrified. Many thought they saw actual cruelty to animals, but they hadn't. Every disturbing moment was meticulously crafted using dummy dogs, strategic camera cuts, and dubbed audio. The trainers supported the real dog during the hanging setup shots, showing only its legs. The distressed expression and full hanging shots used realistic dummies. Even the gunshot was performed on a fake dog. Despite these human techniques, viewers still describe the scene as excruciating and too realistic. This reveals Yakin's mastery of cinematic illusion, creating devastating emotional impact without causing actual harm. The scene serves a crucial narrative purpose, showing the profound moral costs of Fresh's survival strategy. To win his chess game against the drug dealers, he must sacrifice everything innocent in his life, including his pet. If this movie got you the way it did us, drop us a like and let us know in the comments what movie moment hit you the hardest as a kid. We got plenty more like them each week, so make sure you're subscribed to Prime Time Throwback. Fresh's chess games with his father function as an external metaphor for his internal strategy. Director Yakin explicitly designed these scenes to show what Fresh was internalizing, that life in his world operated exactly like a chess game. Every character represents a piece, every move with consequences, every sacrifice serves a bigger strategy. Fresh's elaborate scheme to destroy the drug dealers threatening him and his sister follows classic chess principles. Appear weak when you're strong, sacrifice pawns to protect more valuable pieces, think multiple moves ahead of your opponents. The film's devastating final scene transforms the chess metaphor into profound human tragedy. After executing his King's Gambit successfully, Fresh finally breaks down in tears. These aren't tears of relief, they're acknowledgement of what he's lost. To win the game, he had to sacrifice his childhood, his innocence, his ability to simply be a kid. Here's a connection that'll blow your mind. Producer Lawrence Bender appears in Fresh as a character called long-haired yuppie Scum. Sound familiar? That's because Bender played the exact same character in Pulp Fiction in 4 Rooms. This means Fresh technically exists in the same cinematic universe as Tarantino's films. Think about the implications. The gritty, realistic world of Fresh's Brooklyn Project shares continuity with Tarantino's stylized criminal underworld. It's a fascinating juxtaposition between raw street reality and pop culture-infused crime fiction. Pulp Fiction was released just weeks after Fresh in fall of '94. While Tarantino's film became a cultural phenomenon, Fresh remained a hidden gem. It's almost poetic. While Tarantino's universe gets the spotlight, Fresh stayed in the shadows just like its protagonist. Quiet, calculated, lethal. The Police drummer Stuart Copeland composed Fresh's original score, working closely with Yakin to avoid musical cliches about black characters. This collaboration produced a melancholy, introspective score often contrasted dramatically with the film's darker moments. The soundtrack compilation tells its own story about hip-hop evolution. Classic old-school tracks from artists like Houdini, Grandmaster Flash, and Cold Crush Brothers share space with 3 dark, brooding Wu-Tang songs. Critics noted the striking contrast between life and color of the 80s hip-hop and the unrelenting gloom of Wu-Tang's 90s sound. This musical juxtaposition mirrors Fresh's character arc, the fading innocence of childhood giving way to the harsh realities of survival. The soundtrack becomes an active participant in the film's themes, using audio to track the loss of joy in Fresh's world. Anthony Thomas delivered a memorable performance as Red, the one member of Corky's crew who showed restraint and reason. While his associates moved with reckless energy, Red tried calming situations down, offering mercy when others demanded violence. He was capable of talking and reasoning, rare qualities in Fresh's brutal world. Red represented something precious, the possibility of maintaining humanity within criminal circumstances. His quiet strength stood out against the chaos and aggression surrounding them. After Fresh, Anthony Thomas stepped away from the limelight completely. There's almost no public information about where he went or what he's been doing since. His disappearance adds poignancy to his character. In a film about survival, the actor who plays the most principled character chose to vanish rather than chase fame. Despite universal critical acclaim, 81 on Metacritic, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, Roger Ebert's sixth film of '94, Fresh never got the cultural status of other Hood films. The reason? It subverted every single expectation. Audiences expecting a flashy crime spectacle got psychological strategy instead. People wanting glorified street life got unflinching realism. Viewers seeking simple good versus evil stories got complex moral ambiguity. Fresh traded entertainment for examination, spectacle for strategy. The film was marketed as a hip-hop hood film, but delivered something completely different. This artistic integrity made it critically powerful, but commercially challenging. It rewarded deep engagement rather than immediate satisfaction. Fresh stands as proof that the most powerful films often hide in plain sight. Like its 12-year-old protagonist, it succeeded by appearing smaller and quieter than its competition while operating on a completely different intellectual level. The film's chess metaphor extends beyond the narrative. Fresh itself was a strategic masterpiece that sacrificed commercial appeal to achieve something far more valuable, lasting artistic impact. It demonstrated that even in cinema's most crowned genres, there's always room for a truly original voice. 30 years later, Fresh remains what it always was, a hidden king on cinema's chessboard, waiting for audiences smart enough to recognize its genius. For those willing to look beyond the surface, it offers one of the most devastating and brilliant crime stories ever committed to film. For one brief, brutal moment, we were not watching a crime story. We were watching a child trying to survive a system built to break him. If you're hungry for more hidden gems from cinema's golden eras, make sure to subscribe to Prime Time Throwback, where we uncover the masterpieces that time forgot and reveal why they matter more than ever. The game is always deeper than it appears.